Hey there, folks. I'm Isaac, and I'm the Luminary.
And I'm Claire, and I'm tired.
And this is Make That Game,
where we pitch the latest,
the greatest
new video game ideas
that won't ever get made.
No.
We don't make them.
Mm-mm.
Speaking of,
yeah,
what we do is we pitch them. And so I would like to ask, what's your game pitch for this week?
Yeah, and I just told you beforehand, and I'm so nervous I already said this. I really feel like I already did this game.
It's fine if you said it. And who's going to know?
Someone, I guess. Listeners out there, if you were like, I know this game. I'm worried you're going to say you know it. But anyway, I really liked the mechanic in... which one was it? It was Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh,
that's
okay. All right. Yeah. So Tears of the Kingdom, there's a mechanic in it.
Mm-hmm. Many mechanics, one could say. No, but the one I liked is the mirror thing, where you have to point mirrors in different angles.
Oh, like that one dungeon?
Yes.
Okay.
So I really liked that. And then we watched The Mummy, and they had a thing where you had to do that.
Yes.
And I really liked that. So.
And Avatar: The Last Airbender. So my game idea... really not fleshed out a lot, but it's that. It's like just a dungeon or like a palace or something full of like those are the puzzles. That's what you're solving. Is like mirror puzzles. Okay. Yeah. And it's just you move the mirrors around and they're at different angles.
So I think what I liked about the one in Breath of the Wild, because obviously or Tears of the Kingdom, whatever. In The Mummy there was just like one mirror and you turned it and it was like, ooh, but like we can do better.
Yeah.
So
you can do a bunch of them.
Yeah. Well, in Tears of the Kingdom, one thing that I liked was that there were some like stationary ones, but you also could like have your own and like create different patterns, and you could like move that one. So you could do like one in the same like room with the lights. I should probably describe exactly what's happening. So basically, what we're talking about is when there's like a bunch of mirrors lined up, and you have to tilt them in a certain way to reflect light to a place that then like does something. So it could open a door or light something on fire or, like whatever it is. But you direct a light beam to something specific using mirrors at different angles. So there's usually a beam of light in the room and then you have to like maneuver mirrors in that way. Yeah.
This is
too simple.
No, it's sort of off topic. No, it can be fleshed out, especially if you are seeing this more as like a third person, like an actual like legend, like you are controlling a character who is in like a 3D environment.
Yeah. That's how I see it. But yeah, it would be like the entire game. That's like the mechanic. It's like you're a mirror boy and you have to like do all.
I mean, you could call it like Temple of Osiris or Ra or whichever one the sun god is.
I think it's Ra. Osiris is of the dead.
I thought Anubis was the dead.
I don't know. In Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they call Osiris to raise someone from the dead. So that's all I know. Oh. I don't know much about it. That's what I know. That's all I can say.
Maybe the god of the dead and the god of the underworld are two different things in Egyptology.
That could be it.
But anyways, there's actually a board game.
But Ra is definitely the sun. I know that.
Okay.
Go ahead. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
There's a board game that you might like that is mirror puzzles. It's 2D. But it actually has a laser.
Oh.
And you have different mirror pieces.
That sounds 3D to me. If it has a laser and mirrors and you actually have to direct a laser, that's three-dimensional.
Oh my God.
What?
I am talking in the sense that the laser is on a flat, like you don't build stacks and have the laser pointing up or down. It's only...
Yeah, that's still 3D, though, for board games. Like, it could literally just be, like, not real. Like, it could just be flat. 2D's flat. 3D is not flat. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, my... I'm talking mechanically.
I would say All right, whatever. I think in a board game, that is 2D. I mean, that is 3D. Like 2D would be completely flat. Like, flat.
Okay, so question for this is apparently the discussion topic.
No, we already discussed it last
I need
episode.
to know. I need to know.
All right.
Settlers of Catan.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a 2D or a 3D?
I think flat. I think it's 2D.
No, but you have the little tokens that you put on top.
Yes, but the tokens are not part of the terrain. They're representative. So, like, I would say
Settlers of Catan is 2D, but I would say Ticket to Ride is 3D because the trains you place on the board are part of the environment.
What? I'm not sure if I've ever played Ticket to Ride,
basically,
so I'm not sure.
It's like Risk, but with trains, and so you're placing like trains on the board.
Okay.
Anyway, don't worry. I think there's a difference between like representative tokens and like parts of terrain. So like a mirror that is like physical, that is changing the terrain, would make me think it's 3D. But we already talked about board games. We talked about board games last episode.
We did.
I guess we missed a huge chunk of it.
We did miss a huge chunk. Oh my god.
Anyway, that sounds like a cool board game, though. I would play it.
No,
So it's like Mousetrap would be a 3D game to me. But like Trouble would be 2D because it really is just like mechanically there's stuff that sticks out, but they're not part of the terrain. I don't. It doesn't matter.
2D versus 3D.
Let's just go back. Let's just go back to my game.
Okay.
Which is a video game.
Yeah. All right.
I don't have that much more to say. I just think the puzzles could be really complicated, and you can like hide mirrors, so like, oh, you have to like remove this.
You have to dig them out.
Yeah.
You can have multiple light sources.
Yeah.
You can have different colors of light.
I think a lot, like, because I love, in Kirby, there's a lot of what I call secrets. I think they call it that too. But where, like, you notice something and you can go into a secret room and discover a secret thing. So, I think there could be, this game has a lot of opportunities for secret rooms and, like, things that you don't need to beat the game, but that are cool. Yeah. So it could be a fun game to 100%.
Cool little trinkets.
Mm-hmm.
Every level has one hidden
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that prescriptive. I like that there's like mystery. Like not every Kirby level has a secret. I think you have to be kept on your toes about it.
I think every Kirby level does have a secret.
I don't know. I 100% is.
I actually think every single Waddle Dee, except for the 3 that you get for beating the level, I would consider those
a
secrets.
Secret? Maybe. I don't know though.
Because there's stuff that you have to go out of your way to do.
I guess.
Like hit 3 coconuts.
But that's just one game. You're just talking about one game.
Yeah.
I don't think every Kirby game every room has a secret.
Oh, fair. Okay, that's fair.
And not every, and maybe every level does, but not every like part of a level has one.
No, I never said that.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like that keeps you on your toes because you don't know when it's going to happen.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying I want to keep people on their toes. I don't want them to be like, there's definitely a thing in this room. Like I want them to be like, is there, isn't there? I'm going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out if there is, and then I'm going to be sad because there wasn't. I want that. That's what I want.
Fair.
But yeah, I guess that's, again, really just the mechanic, which I know sometimes is okay to bring here, but not a huge story yet. But I do picture it as like a palace or some kind. Like you're mostly inside a dungeon the whole time, and it's just like layers of dungeon. So, yeah, that's the game. Palace of Ra. I like that. Sure, why not?
Yeah, we love it.
Well, that's my game. Now it's your turn.
All right.
Tell us a game you definitely came up with before right now.
It's very thematic for the season.
Oh,
as
good.
Everyone knows, everyone listening to this right now knows, it's October because you listen to this the first day it comes out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is currently October, which is why my game idea is called Sad Sack Santa Claus.
Sad Sack Santa Claus.
Yeah. Or just Sad Sack Santa. That might be better.
Okay, I'm listening. It's not it's not Halloween. No, it is Halloween. It's not Christmas.
Oh, well, maybe I should save this one. No.
No.
It is a game. It is a 2D beat 'em up.
Okay.
So imagine
like Street Fighter?
No, that's a fighting game. A beat 'em up is like if you took Street Fighter and made levels out of it.
Okay, to me that's the same, but
no.
Okay, doesn't
so
Street Fighter have levels? I don't.
No, Street Fighter is like it's a fighting game. You pick a fighter, they pick a fighter, and you just fight one person. But like a beat 'em up has like levels. You're walking down the street and a bunch of thugs come out and you punch the crap out of them.
Okay.
And then a little arrow appears on the screen when you've killed all the thugs that have exploded into coins, and the arrow is like, go this way. And then at the end of the level, there's a big, like, oiled up, shirtless guy with a piece of pipe
Okay.
And he throws barrels at you.
What is an example of this?
Double Dragon, River City Ransom, River City Ransom Girls.
River City Ransom sounds like a game we made up.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think the Scott Pilgrim game is one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, so nothing I've ever played or seen. That makes sense as to why I'm very confused.
Maybe.
But okay, sure. So Street Fighter, but more.
Yeah. And so the gameplay loop is you're walking down the street. There's, I don't know, Christmas goblins or something. You have to you obviously have to save Christmas, so there's like a bunch of enemies.
Yeah.
And so you're fighting the enemies to save Christmas. Mm-hmm. And the way that the unique thing here is your weapon is your sack of gifts. Mm-hmm. And so you get gifts through the levels, and you put them in your sack, and they have like different weights and like properties.
So you're playing as Santa.
Yes.
Okay.
And so these different like weights and properties of things that you're putting in the sack gives like your attacks like different properties. So like you're beating the crap out of enemies with your sack, and like you're upgrading it by like, you know, if you put like a bunch of coal in your sack, maybe it like does fire damage and it'll melt snowman enemies. But coal overall is pretty light. And then like you can get like carrying capacity upgrades to the sack. So it's like, oh,
so can you like combine things? Like if you have like coal and a present or something?
Yeah. So like you can get like a toy train, and it's got sharp edges, so it deals more damage. And because toy trains are pretty small, they're pretty light, like you can fit a lot of them, so you can get like really high damage. But also things have durability, just like in Breath of the Wild and like Tears of the Kingdom. So like as you're smacking things, you know, you might break some toys, and then they like fall out of the sack, and then you have to find new things to replace them, because now you're weaker because you don't have like the upgrades in the sack. Mm-hmm. So it's like a semi-inventory management addition to the beat-em-up genre.
Okay.
And whereas normally the beat-em-up genre doesn't really have much going on outside of like punch, kick, super move, maybe some like combos. This is like and like power-ups, so like you'll pick up a piece of ham and it'll give you the ability to instantly defeat one enemy with a single punch.
Again, sounds like a game we made up. But...
Yeah. Beat-em-ups are really good. Okay. So this is, I'm hoping, adds a little depth to the genre. Yeah. A little spice.
So you're going to find the power-ups, like, are they just kind of around, or like when you kill an enemy, you'll get some? Like
column A, column B, little of column A, little of column B. No, you can't just say column A, column B.
I think you can. I think I understood perfectly what you meant.
So like some enemies will drop, you know, lumps of coal, especially lumps of coal, because these are Christmas goblins. They're bad. So a lot of them will have lumps of coal.
Yeah, I guess, Christmas goblins, I think we should just define, they're not like elves. They're not pro-Christmas. They're Christmas goblins. They're gobbling up Christmas, right? Like
okay. Yes. Correct. They're the bad guys. Yeah. They hate Christmas because they've gotten... Maybe the lore is that once you've received enough coal, you become a Christmas goblin.
I like
it. Because you're so naughty.
All right. The naughtiest of children.
And like beat them up. Maybe there like will be like children who've been captured by the Christmas goblins, and when you defeat the goblins that have like captured them, like they'll toss their toy at you to help you on your quest to save Christmas, because these children understand the concept of the greater good, which is something that children normally don't understand. Just anti-child brigade coming in. No, but like that could be one thing. Like, okay, there's 3 Christmas goblins, you beat them up, and like the child that was crying in the middle of them goes yay, and like tosses a doll, and the doll is dolls don't seem like they'd be good for a weapon, but like that's one way of like earning
if they're haunted? Things. Just to bring Halloween back.
No, this is a Christmas game.
Okay.
It's about Santa Claus.
Yes.
You can't.
Okay.
No haunted dolls. What is this, Nightmare Before Christmas? Who am I? Tim Burton? Anyways, that is Sad Sack Santa.
Okay, well, I do love a Christmas-themed game, because I played a lot of those on miniclip.com and Flash games.
Yeah,
I don't know, no matter what the season. So that's fun. But yeah, I don't know if I'd actually like a beat 'em up, because I don't like Street Fighter or pretty much any games where you have to actually do moves. So
kind of shameful because you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game should have been an integral part of like as a former citizen of Dover, you should have been forced to play it at least once a week, you know, as part of town spirit.
No. No, but what I will be forced to do is talk about our discussion right now, which is...
good segue. What is our discussion?
Releasing unfinished games and and kind of the new practice of like, we'll just patch it later.
Oh, yeah. It used to be back in the day, in order to release a game.
Yeah, it had to be done.
It had to be some level of done, or else there would be no real way to fix it because like until the advent of like common internet and like internet connected consoles, there wasn't really a way to like patch a game. You couldn't just be like, sorry guys, we messed up. We didn't find the big bug where it deletes your save if you talk to Gary.
Yeah.
But we fixed it now. It's fixed. Just download this 145 gigabyte patch to fix that little bug.
Yeah, yeah.
So like on PS1, games were what they were, and like they might do additional like printings of. I don't think printing's the right word, but like. And I think it was very, very rare, and it really only happened, like, between countries. Like, the Japan would be, like, version 1.0, and, like, after it got localized in English, like, that would be... It might have some bug fixes.
Yeah.
Or might introduce new bugs.
Well, and that's why when we watch speedruns, which really lean into bugs, which is playing games as fast as you can...
yeah.
They'll sometimes play different versions, especially of older games. Like maybe they'll be like, we're playing the Japanese version because there's this bug that they like worked out by the time it released in America. So this is better because we can glitch, you know?
Yep. And so that was also when like video games were also a much smaller infantry.
Infantry? Wow.
Industry.
We know where your brain's at.
Wow. Much smaller industry. And so because there was less profit to be made, it was less tainted by the grips of capitalism. To get a little, you know, political on the podcast. So like nowadays, because of the ease of access of internet and the profitability, et cetera, it is common for a lot of games to hit launch date. Even if they're not ready to, even if they're not ready to after like weeks of crunch, which is when developers basically are there 24/7 eating ramen in the office, pushing to get the game done for the deadline because the company mandates it, demands it. And then it's released like basically unfinished anyways, but hey, you know, day one we'll have a patch or week one we'll have a patch and it'll fix it and it will be fine. The internet was a mistake is my thesis statement.
I mean, I guess like examples of this, the first one I can think of was that I ever kind of experienced it through was Scarlet Violet. Pokemon Scarlet Violet.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was like glitchy.
Yeah, it was extremely glitchy when it first came out. I don't even remember how much they fixed.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure you can still do the backwards jump up.
Yeah, they never
thing.
Fixed that. So
that's good because that's important culture.
Yeah. Yeah, basically you can jump backwards up. So like cliffs
on your like monster,
cliffs that you were supposed
motorcycle.
To wait till you got a power up to climb, you can climb literally the second you get your mount, basically, by just jumping backwards.
We love to see it.
But yeah, I don't think they fixed that. But there was like other glitches I think that they did fix. It was just a glitchy looking game. It was just a...
I wouldn't necessarily call that like unfinished, right? Because you could still like play content. It felt like a completed game. It just had a lot of glitches, and you could say that glitches are something that you could catch.
What's the difference with like finished? Like how finished is finished? Then it's a good question. Like I feel like that to me was too glitchy. It just didn't look. To me, it didn't feel
like a released game that you would pay $60 for.
Yeah, it felt like I'm in like playing the beta or something. Like
that is fair. I guess that's the difference between, I guess if you consider finish as like including, I would call it polish.
Yeah, I think it should. I think that's kind of part of it. Yeah.
I think there is a certain amount of, and I can't think of any examples off the top of my head where outside of like early access games, and I think that's a whole different topic entirely.
But we should talk about that.
But we should talk about, like,
I'll put it on the list.
Outside of early access games, I don't think that they are really out here like releasing games like that are just missing the third act. For example,
no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like unpolished, weird glitches,
okay,
like things that are wrong and it feels unfinished.
Okay, so yeah, and that's mostly due to crunch and deadlines.
Well, yeah,
in my opinion, like,
and I think it is a little bit like you said too, the like internet of it all. Like they can be like, well, it's not perfect, but we said we're going to release it today, so we'll just patch it later.
And that's like the corpo heads making that decision.
Oh yeah, I don't
100%. Like the developers aren't sitting there and being like, no, we'll fix it a week later. We'll release it now. No, it's the corpo head saying, well, we announced that it would be out November 13th.
So we're doing it, and like it's done. It just has to be done. And I mean, there is something to be said about a deadline in an art form. Like, I don't know. I went to art school pretty much, and I say pretty much because technically it wasn't art school, but I have an art degree. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But, part of that was me learning that things never really will ever feel done. Like you kind of have to have someone drag you away from a project to be like, no, it's done now, because there's always something you can change or add or make better. So I think you do need someone saying like, it's done now. But I think the issue comes in when, like you're saying, it's really driven by like capitalism and like these massive studios and profit. And so they're saying it's done because they know that they can sell it no matter what. They're not saying it's done because they think it's actually like at its peak, right? That they're like, this
right.
is...
They're like, I feel like a lot of the people who are making these decisions, and, to emphasize, I feel like I don't have insider knowledge.
No.
I feel like the people who are like pushing these kinds of decisions are kind of detached from the gaming process, or both the development process and the gaming process entirely. They don't like when a game gets pushed out and it's clearly in like a super buggy, like nearly unplayable state. It feels like the person who said push it out, A, doesn't play video games, and B, is not a technical person.
Yeah.
Like, who was told these problems and like didn't fully grok what that meant. Like when the lead developer, product manager, like whoever would communicate this to them was like, yeah, if you talk to Gary in level 2, he overwrites your save file and you have to start again. The person was like, oh, well, then they just won't talk to Gary. Release it. Like,
and it's like, no. Yeah. I think...
Or, it's only chapter 2. Like, they'll just, like, they can, if people talk to Gary, they can restart the game and play the first chapter again.
There you go. I think that makes sense. And I do want to go back a little bit to your comment, too, about, like, crunch and deadlines, and that's a problem. And we talked about this a long time ago on the podcast. I read a book, and now I can't remember what it's called. But it was basically a bunch of different stories of how certain games got developed. And I didn't finish it because I was like actually just horrified, because every single story was like, and everyone was sad and depressed and never saw their family. And but wasn't the game great? And isn't it cool how people come together? I'm like, it's not cool, actually.
But imagine how productive that was. I'm joking. It was probably 1% as productive as it would be if these were like happy work-life balance people.
But it's hard with like such an art product. I think a lot of things that are like on the line of art, right?
Yeah. It's like passion work.
Right. So and one thing that's frustrating about passion work in art specifically, because I do think of video games as art, and that could be another conversation we have. But,
that is a big discussion that has lots of feelings.
But like if people... Like, again, like you, it's hard to know when art is done. It's also, you can have like inverse effects of work. So like you could have a really cool idea and work like 18 plus hours on it and then realize it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the crunch comes in, where I don't know how we can, after reading that book, I was like, how do we fix it? Like, how do we make crunch not happen? And it's like, I guess the only way is moving deadlines back, because, because I think there's always going to be this part where like, oh, I have this really cool mechanic I want to add to the game, and we spend 3 weeks on it, and then it's like, oh, actually this sucks. Like we have to not do it anymore. But now those 3 weeks are gone. You know, like what are we going to do about that? And then you end up in crunch.
So I have thoughts on that, but I don't own a video game company, and I've never
I don't either,
worked at one, so I don't actually know how applicable it is, and I don't want to be like the armchair expert.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, this is just.
I have website building experience,
yes.
And
the way MakeThatGame.com. You can see how great he is.
And the way that's basically so. We run into that problem a little bit with websites where, you know, we basically promise a certain date that the website will be done by. And so the way that we resolve, like what you're talking about is basically scope creep or feature creep.
Yeah.
The way that's solved is if the client or if we come up with like a feature that would be super handy that isn't part of the initial scope, we do push the launch date.
Yeah.
We have it in writing from the customer that they accept that we will add 40 hours or whatever, and that will push the launch a week. And then we get paid, and we don't have to worry about, oh, now we have to fit 40 extra hours of work into the same deadline.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I guess.
But I don't think video games can do that, except for just saying no scope creep. Like if it's not in the
original plan, but that would be so limiting, I would think. Like because what if you're in the game and you like I've never developed a game either. I just feel like you would come up with cooler ideas. Like sometimes when we pitch games to each other, we come up with ideas in the moment because we're just like talking it out.
So in like applying like my website building industry experience, like the way that that's sort of resolved, and like video games have the advantage of you don't need to. You probably work with like the producer and like have a launch date, but you don't need to make like a public launch date,
right? Until
that's true. Later on in the process. So like part of what we like budget out in my industry. Is we have the discovery phase, and that's where we are like talking to the client, researching and like figuring out what features that they want before we start work on anything.
Well, that would
video games can technically have like an infinite discovery phase before they make any announcements as to this is when we'll launch. And like you can, the way that I would do this is I would basically say if it's not in the discovery phase, like if it's a mechanic that comes up later in the discovery phase, it's not being added except for maybe as like expansion material.
Yeah, or if we have a DLC, or if we like magically have extra time, right?
Yeah,
like
if we have extra time.
We finish early, okay, great. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I think too. Again, it's just the culture. I think it's a culture shift as well.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of industries try to make it feel cool that you like work like 80 hours a week. But like especially passion industries, right? Where they're like, aren't you so cool? You're building this so cool game. Like, don't you want to live here and like where your family and all that nonsense?
And to be clear, that's exactly why I'm not in the video game industry.
Yeah, so we've talked about this before. But yeah, Isaac actually went to school for game design or game development, and doesn't do that for work because of because he works for a company that will.
I'm not passionate about.
Hey, this is public.
It's not passion work. No, I think it's fair to say, you know, I can have, for example, pride in my work,
right?
And I can be a good worker
without
having like
web
that.
Design is my passion.
Yes.
But I think it is healthy because
I have a separation between what I want to do in my spare time and what I do for work.
And what you just described was very like reasonable. Like your work, when there's scope creep, you like name it and you figure out how to like make that make sense. Either we're doing it or we're not. We're not going to say like, okay, just work 100 more hours.
Yeah. Do 16-hour shifts for the next 3 weeks.
Right.
I will throw you a pizza party at the end of it.
Yeah. So that's a choice a lot of people have to make. But anyway, that got all over the place. But I think what we're saying is, don't fix it in post. That's what it feels like. So in the film industry, the joke, I don't even know if this is like an industry-wide joke, it's just a joke that I've said a lot and heard a lot. But when you're on set and filming things, and then someone will inevitably say, "We can fix that in post," and then like whatever anyone else on set should do is go, "No." So
the what makes me think of is the infamous Wesley Snipes blade thing. There was some scene where like Wesley Snipes was like So Blade is a movie about him being a vampire.
Okay.
I don't know. He's like lying on a table and he's supposed to open his eyes, but I guess just refused.
Okay.
So in post, they like CG'd eyes over his closed
like
eyes.
That. So it's like you don't like
fix it in post, baby.
Like, is there a lot we can do in post production? Sure. And that's just, I really relate it to like pushing out fixes after games live, right? Because it's like, can we do it? Yes. Should we do it? Probably not.
We should probably
have it as good as it can be. And like, yes, we do have that to lean on, but we shouldn't plan on it, right? Like, we should be trying to do as much as we can before it goes there. Yeah. Post production is only so magical. Although I will say, Star Wars was completely fixed in post. So thanks for that.
Thank you, George Lucas's wife.
Yeah.
Ex-wife, first wife.
Probably look up her real name.
No, I know. She's got a name. Hold on. Wendy. I'm feeling Wendy. It's not Wendy Lucas?
No.
Marsha Griffin Lewis.
Lucas.
What did I say? That's the name of our cat. Okay. Thank you, Marsha Griffin Lucas. Yeah.
She edited the Star Wars. She edited Star Wars 1 and saved it from being horrible, just in case no one knew about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're ready for the rapid fire round. Are you ready for the rapid fire round?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. The rapid fire round is where we generate 3 random words. We come up with a game idea based on those 3 words, and we come up with a name based on those 3 words. Well, it doesn't. Yeah, the name of the game. Anyway, and
a gameplay loop.
And a gameplay loop, and we only have 5 minutes to do that. Let's go.
All right, I'm starting it in 3. Actually, before I start it, the only consequence to not doing it in 5 minutes is we feel really bad
about it. So,
so starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
I feel like that was ominous to say before. Okay, football, classify, potential.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. I haven't fit potential in yet, but
we'll work on
it. You are like a Men in Black type agent.
Okay.
And so like there's a football team that you like follow around because it has aliens on it.
Okay.
So you like watch their football games, and when they do alien stuff, you have to like mind wipe people and
so are you thinking
classify it?
Classified,
yeah.
Because classify is the word. I don't know. A classified document, do you classify that document? Is that the word?
It has to be. It's classified. You have to classify it in order for it to be classified. That's how verbs work. Right? She's looking it up, folks.
I don't even know how to look it up, to be honest.
Because it's unclassified. Well, the document is
classified information might just be... I can't find anything about classifying information as a verb. I think classified information is classified becomes adjective. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about...
Okay. All right. Well, then, all right. Move on. What's your idea?
Yeah. So I was thinking it's like a sports management game, which what we do all the time, but it would be like classifying recruits for like, cause that you're going to like high schools and like scouting potential.
Okay.
For football.
Oh, so you're a football scout.
Yeah. But maybe instead of, to make it fun, a little more fun.
Yeah.
Like that's your cover to go back to like, so you're there, they think you're looking to classify, but you're actually trying to build like an elite force of
football heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay. So okay. So there's like, so the gameplay loop is you observe like football games. Mm-hmm. You offer like recruitment opportunities to players within. Then they join your team.
And you have to classify them into categories, I think, just to like
what position they would be good at.
Exactly.
And then once they're recruited to your team, then you actually have like 2 things going on. You have the football game, and then you have like the elite missions.
Yeah.
That they're doing.
Yeah, they save the town or whatever.
By day, they're doing the football, and then at night, they're like fighting aliens to bring it back to that. Aliens and cryptids and stuff.
Yeah, and it could be
fun. So it's like, Oh, sorry. I was just imagining it being like the alien missions are like XCOM style, so like turn-based like strategy game.
Okay.
And then the like football section. I don't know if it's like full on like also a football game or if it's just kind of like a management thing that you watch. We have a minute and 30 seconds.
So let's name it.
Okay.
Star Team Football Club.
Star Team. Okay. Because star implies the aliens. Maybe. Okay. STFC. Is that anything?
I mean, it's an acronym.
No, I was just trying to see if it like had a further level of pun.
We could call it Star Team Advanced Recruitment, and then it's also Star.
Star Team Advanced Recruitment Football.
Starf.
Starf.
I mean, I like that recruitment gets in there.
Yeah. I'm okay with
You do not seem okay with it, but
no. Star Team Advanced Recruitment. Yeah.
Colon
football. Thank you.
Well, so then
30 seconds left.
It would be like star, like all capitals, football, and then that's like Star Team Advanced Recruitment Football. You know, like so it's like star football. It's like
STAR :
yes.
football. Yes. And then that opens up the franchise to also have a hockey version, a soccer version.
Yes. Feel like all of
a
them.
rugby version for the UK expansion.
Yes. Stars.
Good. All right.
All right. Next words.
Next 3 words. Hold on. Got to open up the clock app.
Yeah.
Apparently it closed.
I lost my.
Oh my God. We're so professional.
We are.
We'll fix it in post.
No.
I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Training, admiration, lay. LAY. Lay.
Potato chip.
This is a Lay's joint. This is a Lay's what is it? IP. Lay's IP game. It's
a life sim. You're an athlete. You're training for a marathon, and your currency is Lay's potato chips.
Where does this admiration come in?
Because you admire the #1 marathon runner, and so you want to be like them. So that's why you're training. And Lay's potato chips are your inspiration.
I'm okay with training, and you are paid in Lay's.
Okay, I'm glad that you're okay with the paid in Lay's part.
I like that. Well, because we're making a unofficial Lay's IP game, so obviously Lay's chips wants to look good in it.
Yes.
So that, I think that the currency is Lay's is fun, and I think that's fine. I struggle with admiration. I think we have to do better.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, another aspect of it. So, like, the normal gameplay loop is, like, you selecting how you want to train, like, going to the gym, running, swimming, like, different things that would, like, realistically build up the ability to, like, do a marathon.
Oh, wait. Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought.
And then the admiration part is you also effectively, as part of the gameplay loop, have to like run marketing campaigns on yourself to build up a fan base to support you with Lay's. That's kind of what I was
thinking. Yeah, so I was thinking is like not like, I mean, it's like you would have like a social media account. So like when you go swimming, you'd post about swimming and then you get paid for the post and then you get Lay's.
Yes.
And that's the loop. Yes. And you just get more and more Lay's and more admiration until you turn into a chip. And that's the end of the game.
Okay, you turn into a chip. All right, and what's the name of this beautiful game that we've just made?
It's called.
It has to have the word Lay's with like the R.
But I want it to be like brought to you by Lay's. Like it's like the name and then brought to you by Lay's. Featuring Lay's. It's called Don't Be Lazy, Lay's chips. That's called. It's called
Couch to Marathon, presented by Lay's.
Yeah, couch potato chips. Couch potato to chip.
Couch potato to marathon star presented by Lay's.
Couch potato to marathon star presented by Lay's. Yeah.
All right, 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the timer. We nailed that one.
That was a really good game. All right, are we ready for our final game of the episode?
Can we use that as the episode name, or do you think that would bring legal trouble, legal trouble, if we act like it's presented by? Because to be clear. It's not presented. No, this is a fake idea.
Although, Lay's, if you're interested, give us a.
Yeah, no, we can work on it.
Make that game podcast@gmail.com. We can collaborate.
Yeah.
Collaborate. Okay. Final.
Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Dressing. Representative. Lawyer. Representative and lawyer are like too similar.
No, but that makes it a little easier for us, so I'll take it. But, okay.
It's like a dress-up
fashion
game.
Law.
Yeah.
And so the gameplay loop, you wake up, you have a certain case, you dress up your lawyer.
It's a dress-up game, but for lawyers.
It's a dress-up game, but for lawyers. And when you walk in the courtroom, like, you could lose the case instantly if you're considered badly or inappropriately dressed.
And so what I want to happen is that, like, so here's the loop I'm thinking of. So, like, you're assigned a case, you have a closet. Each outfit is not only cute and fun, but also has power-ups. So you have to pick the right power-ups based on your case.
Okay.
And so if you make like a faux pas, like you said, you're going to be like immediately like lost. But like if you have like a really powerful, like it's like a power suit, literally.
Yeah.
And then like, because you're a lawyer, when you win cases, you get money, and then you can use the money to buy like higher power-up outfits. Yes. But again, I think I do want to really clarify that it's not just about the power-ups, it's also about looking cool.
Yes.
Like, it's also at its core a dress-up game.
Right. And yeah. I mean, what more is there to say about it?
Yeah, I feel like that makes a lot of sense, and I think dress-up games are like one we don't really do a lot of, but is, a very known type of game.
And we just call it...
I mean, Power Suit is like really right there for us.
Yeah. I really wanted it to be like Fashion Law. Or something.
I mean, fashion. Yeah, because there's Fashion Police.
Fashion Court.
No, Fashion Court, maybe.
Because, like, that implies Fashion Police.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a natural extension of Fashion Police to Fashion Court. Like, Fashion Police bring you to Fashion Court.
Right, yeah.
Right. There's no police aspect. This is after the Fashion Police do their work. What if we call it Power Suit : Fashion Court?
Yes. I'm in.
All right,
you
boom,
nailed it.
Boom.
All right.
2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock.
That is this episode of the podcast.
Thank you
for listening. You can find us on social media at MakeThatGamePod. You can email us, MakeThatGamePodcast. And you can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/@MakeThatGame. You can find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/MakeThatGame. And we're going to be streaming on the 27th of October at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So take a look at that. And
we'll find out what we're streaming then.
Yes, you'll find out what we're streaming then. We'll try to post about it beforehand.
I think Claire, it's your turn, Claire.
It is my turn, yeah. Wow.
You can play No Man's Sky now.
Wowzer. No, I can't because it'll make me too dizzy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. And if you liked a game that you heard about today, as long as you are not the corporation Lay's, we encourage you to get out there and make that game.